Hey guys, welcome to the Hoan Zone. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to hack mortgages. And if you're in the market for a house, you're going to want to watch this video before you buy your house. Currently, it is July 2021. House prices are going through the roof and there are a ton of buyers buying these houses. So how do you compete when the market is so hot? If you are determined to buy a house, you're going to need to qualify for more money. But when you go to the bank, they're going to look at you, they're going to evaluate your DTI, and they're going to say, well, you only qualify for this. And that might not be enough. So how is it that you can qualify for more money? Well, that's what this video is going to be all about. All right, welcome to the spreadsheet that I created. Here is a breakdown of what the banker is going to be looking at and what you should be looking at when you're deciding on getting that mortgage. All right, so first up is the DTI, the infamous DTI. That is what's going to prevent you or allow you to get the loan that you want. Currently, conventional loans allow you to go up to a 49% DTI, but here I put 43% just as a comfort zone or a buffer where you can safely get a mortgage if you're under that 43%. Let's start there. Here I have the salary. Oops, I'm sorry, right here. Here's the salary, $75,000. That calculates to $6,250 per month. Now, price, that's how much the house is that you want to buy. 20% is what you're going to be putting down. These cells here, they calculate. Here's the rates that I'm putting in or using. Here are some estimates in terms of taxes and insurance. Monthly TI just stands for monthly taxes and insurance. And then PITI is your monthly principal and interest. That's the PI over here. Added to your TI over here, which gives you your PITI, which is $2,746. If we had an HOA fee here, it would just add up and make the payment higher based on the HOA. So let's throw in some numbers. Let's take a look at this debt here. Currently, this debt says zero, but for most people, they don't have zero debt. So let's put equals $800 for a car note, and let's say $700 for credit card bills. So in total, we have $1,500 in debt. But you guys see how immediately that destroyed our DTI up there? You're at 67% DTI, almost 68% because of that debt that we just added. Well, that's going to be a problem. The lender is not going to allow you to get that property. So what people often do is they reduce how much they're going to spend on the property. So let's put $400,000 in here. We're still too high. Let's put in $300,000 in here. All right, we're technically allowed to get this loan, but we're still too high based on this margin of safety at 43% DTI. We're at 48%. That's still a little high. So how do we play this game? We were shopping for a $675,000 house. Now we've cut it down to $300,000. What gives? Well, there's a couple of things here. You can always increase your down payment, right? So you got that 20% right there. So some people, they have the luxury of making a larger down payment. So if we put in here 30% versus 20%, then all of a sudden we've gotten, oh, it's still not enough. Wow, that's interesting. 40%, we're getting closer. Even with a significant increase in down payment, it doesn't improve your chances as much as getting rid of the debt. So I'm gonna show you something. So right now, we barely qualify based on the safety factor for the mortgage at 40% down for a $300,000 house. But if I can remove this debt, instead of it being $1,500, let's just put zero in. All of a sudden, you qualify, no problem. I can put 20% here, still qualify. I can put 10% here, still qualify easily. 5%, qualify very easily. Let's go up in house price, $450,000. That's $4.5 million. There we go. Still looking good. All right, let's go up higher, $550,000. All right, we're looking good. 5% down for a $550,000 house. We can still qualify with a $75,000 job. It's pretty incredible how much house you can qualify for if you don't have your debt. But you do have your debt. So what are we going to do about your debt? That's what we're going to be talking about right now. The way we are going to game this system is we're going to leverage your business to pay off your personal debt. What shows up on your personal credit report is what the bank is going to use when evaluating whether or not you are credit worthy for that loan. They're going to look at your credit report. They're going to see all the debts that exist, and then they're going to see what the minimum payment is for each one of those debts. Then they're going to add that all up, and they're going to put it into that cell that I just showed you where it says debt. They're going to add it all up, and then they're going to do the math, just like I showed you. What you need to do is get that debt off from your personal side onto your business side, or pay it off altogether. It's up to you. But if you have a business, what I want you to do is get a line of credit and make sure that line of credit is large enough to afford doing that transfer. Because if, say, you have $50,000 in debt on your personal side, you're going to need at least $50,000 of debt on your business side so that you can move it over. And this takes many months of planning. I want you guys, if you're watching this video right now, I want you to go out and get some business lines of credit. This way, when you need more later, you're going to have some history with the person who gave you the line of credit. And so when you ask for an increase, they're going to be more likely to give it to you. So make sure you get that line of credit immediately. If you didn't get it yesterday, I want you to get it today. Get that line of credit, and then you're going to grow it over time. Now, if you already have a line of credit that's large enough, then you can start doing this process immediately, but you're still going to need to wait a couple of months before you do the whole process and actually get the mortgage. So what you're going to do is you're going to use that line of credit, and then you're going to pay off all of your personal debts with your business line of credit. And then when your business does it, it does not show up on your personal credit report. But with a caveat, sometimes it does. Make sure that the lender or the line of credit that you're using does not show up on your personal credit report. Maybe use $5 and see if it shows up. And if it doesn't show up, then you're in the clear. But if it does show up, then this is not going to help us. You want a line of credit that does not show up on your personal credit report. Then you're going to move it over, and then you're going to sit there and allow the credit bureaus to mark off that you've paid off all of your credit, right? So that may take a couple of months. The credit bureaus are not going to immediately report that you've paid off $50,000 worth of debt. That takes a couple of months. And the bank is going to look back and see when they pull your credit report, it's either going to show up or it's not going to show up. And if it still shows up, you might say, oh, but I paid it off. They might ask you how. How did you pay that off? Where did the money come from? And if you tell them, oh, it came from my business credit, well, they're like, well, who's responsible for the business credit? Who's responsible for paying that off? And if it's you and you're personally guaranteeing it, the bank is going to have a problem with that. Because you shifted it over does not mean it's not within your responsibilities, and the banks aren't going to like that it's still there. But if you do it months ago and they look back, they may not look back far enough to see the transaction. And if they don't see it, they don't ask. When they don't ask, and then you don't have a problem. So you're definitely going to need a couple months there. Also, you're going to want that down payment money in there. You may or may not have the down payment money in order to buy the house. You might look better to a potential seller if you have a larger down payment. So if you need some money in your personal account and you want to take it from your business account, you're going to have to take the money from your business account, move it over into your personal account, and then do nothing. And if the money came from your line of credit, that same line of credit, and you're moving it over into your personal account, again, move it over there, but you're going to need to season it for a couple of months. Again, banks look back in history. They're going to look 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. They're going to look at your bank statements and they're going to see, where did all of this money come from? But if it's far enough back, the money's already been there. Hey, I've been saving it for my whole entire life for this moment. That's why it's in there, right? And they may not ask further back. So ask your lender, how far back did they look? And then make sure that you start the process before that. If you know you're going to be buying a house 6 months from now and the bank only looks back 3 months, fantastic. You can start this process 2 to 3 months from now. But make sure you give yourself enough runway. That's where people get in trouble and this whole thing explodes, when they don't give themselves enough runway. Now, let's talk about whether you should do this or not. Number one, I am not a financial analyst or financial professional, and I am not working for you, and this is not financial advice. This is just a strategy that you can use. If you guys don't like this or you think it's too risky, I agree. Don't do this. This is for somebody who understands their finances. They understand their money flow, cash flow. They know that they can afford it because they have a job coming up. They have income coming up. They have whatever it is that's coming up, but the bank is not counting it. And sometimes they have income that has already come in that the bank is not counting because that income is too new of a source. Or if it's a source that they just don't like, maybe it might be rental income and they say, we're only going to count 75% of that. So that income that they used on the spreadsheet, it may not be your full income. So you know that you can afford it, but they won't underwrite it that way. This video is just to show you guys what's possible, but it's not telling you what to do. It's just showing you guys how to play the game that's out there for you. So this is not financial advice. This is just showing you guys that. So if you think it's risky, don't do it. But if you are financially literate and you think you can do this, if you think you can afford it based on everything, then go for it. Now, if you move the money from your personal debt onto your business debt, don't forget you still have to pay it. You still have monthly debt, right? And even if you have some kind of like zero interest balance transfer or whatever, just know that the clock is going to run out and at some point you're going to have to pay it off. As long as you're aware of all of that and you understand all of the risks that are there because you are taking on more debt, and banks have those DTI guidelines to try to keep you safe. Really, it's probably to keep them safe, because the last thing they want is to lend you money and then you go belly up, because they don't want to foreclose on these properties. They just want to give you your loan and then collect the interest and call it a day, and do that over and over and over. That's the business that they're in. They're not interested in collecting properties from home buyers. They want you to be a happy home buyer, willing to pay them the money that you agree to pay them. So with that, guys, if you guys have any more questions about this, leave them in the comments. Would you do something like this? Have you done something like this? It'd be very interesting to hear from you guys. Also, if you guys are interested in additional trainings or anything like that, go to hoanzone.com. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, because we release new videos every Monday and Wednesday here at the Hoan Zone to help you multiply the assets you own. All right, guys, with that, that is the end of the video, and I will see you next time. Peace.